10 things you didn't know about the NBA bubble. No one likes to have his or her freedom of movement limited, but apparently with the ongoing pandemic movement, there's currently a lot restricted. The virus is virtually affecting every aspect of life. However, for others, life continues. Most time, quarantining is the best option. Before we get started with this video, don't forget to subscribe and click on the belly button. Stay in touch with all the fun-filled and highly informative videos we share on this channel, and if you click on the button right now, we'll let you know once we upload our next video. The NBA Orlando bubble could actually be a glorified name for the NBA camp. Following the stay-safe rules and the need to resume halted seasons, the NBA has carefully selected the baddest, most prominent, and fastest basketballers around the globe and made them settle into an organized camp in Orlando. In today's video, we'll present the 10 interesting things you have no idea about the NBA bubble. Let's get this rolling already. Number 10. Arrival. When players started arriving at the facility, the NBA announced that every player will be quarantined alone in their hotel rooms. The process is expected to last for 36 to 48 hours. This is so until the player presents 2 negative COVID-19 test results. This is a good development, but I personally think this length of quarantine time is just not enough. There have been cases of asymptomatic carriers of the virus, and other times, these sorts of persons may test negative within these hours. According to reports, testing negative is not a surety of no infection. Number 9. Guests. Anyway, there was this question going around the proposal of the bubble site. Everyone wanted to know if the players would be going along with their families. Basketball devotees wanted to know if broadcasters, referees, coaches, or players might have to endure a long-term separation from their loved ones. If they can have friends over at the facility and all that. Good news is, in the end, both sides of the puzzle came to a compromise. So you can visit the facility only until the second round of the playoffs. At this point, it is evident there will only be 8 teams out of the entire 22 teams in the bubble. Every team would have as much as 15 to 17 guest hotel rooms to welcome their guests on campus.
Go time, baby. Yes, sir. You see, go.
Oh, and did I tell you that it's going to be over 50 days being away from family and friends? Whoa, this is really some isolation camp. Well, it's not as though they have not gone through this length of separation at one time in their lives, right? Number 8, self-isolation within isolation. Well, the rules don't end with no guests coming until 50 days. It appears staffers and players cannot visit each other's hotel rooms. This is really going to be one long, lonely experience. And don't forget, hell for the extroverts. Well, it's not all that bad. They get to use the golf courses on the facility, the pools, trails, and can also socialize in their hotel's player lounges under strict supervision. No pairing in ping pong. This would definitely be hard to coordinate. No sharing or using the pack of cards more than one time. Okay. That's literally something to think about. I can imagine that the pools and trails would be all over the place, and socializing in players' lounges would feel like standing in the queue to be served lunch in high school. Well, the difference is you get to hold hands and gist nonstop in close confinement with friends. So yes, high school luncheon would definitely be way more exciting than socializing in the players' lounge. Personally, though, I think this would be the hardest of the rules, given the league is also letting their players play in walled gyms without the use of masks. They are definitely going to be touching the same ball, breathing the same air, speaking in huddles, and yelling to their teammates to get the shot. I think they're forgetting that speaking so loud can transmit over 1,000 virus-containing droplets. These droplets can travel over 6 feet. I think they need to give this whole thing a new approach. Number 7, leaving the bubble. Don't get me wrong, but whenever I hear the word bubble, the dome dropped on Springfield by The Simpsons definitely comes to mind. Although the NBA bubble's not physical, the players can still leave the facility. I believe the word bubble should not surface in describing the establishment. I think the terminology campus, as given by Silver, would be more benefiting of the facility. And now, the small matter of leaving the bubble. A rule has been put in place that should a player go out of the bubble without approval, he or she must be quarantined for at least 10 days upon returning. During the quarantine, such a player would have an in-depth nasal test. This is in contradiction to the shallow oral or nasal testing they are initially supposed to get on arrival. You want to know what I think of this rule? This to me is one of the most sensible rules out there. With over 50 days separation from family and friends, there's a chance some players may decide to sneak out and be with their loved ones. Number 6, entertainment. No need to worry, the NBA had entertainment in mind while planning out the entire thing. It's apparent they want the whole experience to be fun for their players. Or are they only trying to distract them from realizing the whole campus thing is no fun at all? There is a plan on the ground to provide DJ sets, movie screenings, and 3-course meals prepared freshly every day. And for their games, they have fishing, boating, golf, and bowling to choose from. Oh, and there's an availability of pedicurists, barbers, hair braiders, and manicurists. A handful of players are allowed to attend other teams' games. This is also extended to the number of executives, media, union, and league personnel attending the game. Funny enough, this rule also restricts the number of sponsors allowed to watch a match. But on a personal level, inviting sponsors from outside the facility imposes a higher chance of the virus getting spread, although the protocol has promised that they will not be in direct contact with the teams or players. From a monetary point of view, this could be a way to soften the losses suffered from a postponed season. Number 5, no drug tests. The rule also says that while players are at the facility, they will not be tested for abusing drugs. They would be tested for masking agents and performance-enhancing drugs, but overlook those fun ones they may decide to have in their little corners. Nevertheless, players are warned that the use of marijuana in Florida is illegal. What does that even mean? Number 4, use of face masks. Everybody is mandated to wear masks while indoors and at all times. The masks can be ignored when alone in their rooms, eating, working out, or playing. With a bit of luck, this rule will be better enforced than it is in the general public. Another development, though, no one on the floor during a game, like the bench, officials, first-row coaches, or players, are mandated to do the same. Players will have the choice to wear a discretionary proximity alarm off the court, which alerts them when they're within 6 feet of another person putting on the device for more than 5 seconds. Number 3, mandatory use of magic bands. Wearing a magic band, a rubber and plastic bracelet containing an electronic chip, is compulsory. This band would serve in checking into rooms, charging food, entering the parks, and so on. This is not a new practice, as this has been in practice way before now. Another exciting plan put in place by the NBA is a smart ring given to players to use as well. The smart ring can notify of symptoms in advance by checking respiratory functions, measuring temperature, and heart rate. Number 2, absence approval. If the absence is permitted, the NBA can monitor the player's health while he's gone. It's practical unless the leagues get to decide what a tolerable absence looks like. Giving a player who left without authorization an in-depth nasal test, which sounds really painful and not unlike getting your brain scrubbed, would make sense if there was a sure indication the tests were more precise than the less unpleasant alternatives. Now, if there's an unavoidable absence, for instance the birth of a child or a family emergency, then the player is expected to quarantine for just 4 days on campus, provided he tested negative each day he was gone. Number 1, safety measures. Luckily, there are not many people on an NBA roster. While on campus, each team will have up to 17 players. Initially, though, each side would be allowed to send a maximum of 37 people. They include trainers, front office personnel, players, strength coaches, mental health professionals, equipment managers, and coaches. The league has also basically detached the pre- and post-game locker room presence, and players will dress in their rooms. They are expected to head straight to the arena from their hotel rooms and return to their rooms afterward to take a shower. With about 101 rules and regulations in place, it may be a safer place for you to be in the country during the pandemic. Nevertheless, reports have revealed that a good number of players are not happy with the arrangement. Sadly, in a recent development, about 16 of the players and staff quarantined at their various hotel rooms have tested positive for the virus. This is indeed a sad development, and there is uncertainty if the lives of the rest are safe. We sure hope something would be done on time to curb the virus from spreading. However, it is of great concern since 5 out of the 22 head coaches in the facility are over 60 years of age. And that's it for today, guys. That's all we have on the 10 things you need to know about the NBA bubble. If there are details about the basketball facility in Orlando we forgot to discuss in this video, please leave your suggestion in the comments section. We'll be sure to include it in our next video. That's it, guys. Don't forget to give us a like, be sure to subscribe, and click on the belly button to keep up with our trending videos. See you in the next video.